The bigger thing that I'd like to touch on for some of us, and there's so much vast knowledge out there that it's almost hard to navigate through, right?
Totally.
Between diets and all that kind of stuff. So in as easy terms as we can understand, why do we even need protein?
So I love this question.
Right.
Let me make it real simple. There's arguments for a low-carb diet, and there's arguments for a low-fat diet.
Mm-hmm.
Have you ever heard of a diet that requires low protein?
No,
like that
that's
answer,
awesome.
No,
That's great.
Simply no.
Yeah, no.
Good.
You've got your keto, you've got your low carb, you've got whatever.
Mm-hmm.
All of them still require ample amounts of protein.
What's up, guys? It's Kyle with Coffee with Coach. This is our fifth or fourth, episode of the show. Basically, what's going to happen is we're going to be here with Anthony. So this is Anthony. He's our rep for Ascent sales here at Gemology. We're going to ask him a lot of questions that have to do with the protein, about his life, some of the interests that he's into, and as always, we have some coffee. It is Coffee with Coach. You can't have it without it. So this is actually Stumptown's actual ground, or it's not ground, it is the whole bean that Charlie made into some cold brew. So we're going to try it out. I haven't had this one yet, but we'll cheers to that.
Cheers, fellas.
It is good. It kind of tastes like the one that they already had made in that little glass bottle.
Yep.
Cool. Are you a coffee drinker? You like it?
I'm pretty sensitive to caffeine,
Okay.
so I try to avoid it as much as possible. I have the energy.
I will give you guys a heads up. It's 8:24 p.m. We're drinking a little bit of coffee, so there is coffee in the thing. I was thinking about drinking a noon tablet at the time, but Coffee with Coach. We got to have it. So we're going to do a new segment. So we typically ask questions to our guests. This is our second guest. We're about to do a rapid fire question. He has 30 seconds to answer 6 questions.
I'm excited about these.
Right.
Oh, 30
seconds.
Woo!
They're going to be on the clock.
All right.
I'm going to look at my questions
Okay.
before. Are you ready?
Yep.
Okay.
I got mine
Here we
in
go.
front of me.
I'm going to put the clock on the edit up here. You guys are going to see it. Here we go.
You're
You're
up first.
All right, so here we go. You ready? 3, 2, 1. What's your favorite color?
Red.
Favorite brand?
Band.
Nike.
No, band.
Band.
Like
music.
AC/DC.
Oh, what's your favorite CrossFitter?
Oh. Josh Bridges.
Oh, nice. Favorite hero workout?
Murph.
What's your dream car?
An Audi R8.
Ooh. Enneagram number.
Enneagram number.
What?
Oh, we knew we would get him on that one.
No, I have no idea what that is.
Man. Okay, so we're 3 seconds away from the time. So a Enneagram number is a personality test, and you got to take it now. So
Okay.
we need to put it, by the time that you guys watch
The
this,
liners.
we're going to have this taken.
We'll put it in the liners.
Okay, so
We'll find out.
I am a 3. I'm a 3. What are you?
I'm a 2.
A 2. Okay, so basically it's 9 numbers that tell you what your personality is.
Yeah.
Oh.
And
Why
it's
have I
really
never
fun.
heard of this
Yeah,
before?
So I can't remember what my
Put
my achiever.
put some in your comments. You guys write in and tell us what your
What is
Enneagram
your
number
Enneagram
is, and
number?
it'll be pretty cool to
Sweet.
find out.
So that was fun.
Yeah.
You if you would have known that, you would have beat the time.
It was good.
All right, let's see. I'll ask the first question for you today. So basically, we just want to know your background. Who is Anthony? Who's Tony?
Tony. Anthony grew up in Arlington, Texas, born and raised there my whole life. Went off to school, but grew up playing sports. Started, as early as you could start sports. High school wrestling is what really changed my life as far as fitness goes, and that's what immediately introduced me into CrossFit. I mean, CrossFit started, 08, 09?
Yeah, 07,
and so that is right when I was getting into CrossFit, and our wrestling coach he kind of got me into it. So we weren't doing all the Olympic lifting, but that's where it started. College athlete, cycling scholarship, and played rugby as well. So, growing up, sports and fitness has been a huge part of my life.
Cool. You said cycling?
Cycling.
Like road bikes?
Like road bikes
That's-
and track cycling. A
I
lot of people would
literally-
never
so
know.
That's what I came from, was literally a cycling background.
Yeah.
So I had soccer and cycling. That was it.
Yeah.
So we have got another one. So this is you got the coolest job ever. Just go around. You literally went to China for it.
Yeah.
We ran into you at the games.
We ran into you at the
Yeah,
games.
that was fun.
And you just come around, you leave packages on people's doors. You're like, hey man, sell my stuff. And I was like,
Yeah.
cool, let's do it. So tell us how you landed the gig. There's got to be something did you just see an ad out and you were like, hey, I got to do that?
Oh, so, right out of college, my first job was actually Lululemon. And so Lululemon got me back into CrossFit, really engulfed me into fitness and community and what that is in a bigger picture. High school, it was kind of more like you went to 24-hour fitness or wherever and you did your own thing. But doing yoga, doing spin, doing Pilates, and doing CrossFit, they all have their own little community. Left Lululemon and was kind of in between work. I started full-time CrossFit coaching and I wanted some extra cash, and one of my buddies actually hooked me up with Ascent and said, hey, they're looking for a brand ambassador in this area. It's a part-time gig. You work local events. You maybe work once or twice a month. Just kept my relationship up with my boss. Continued doing events. Got hired on in a Rosti. Did that for a little over a year. So they specialize in like soft tissue and manual therapy. They're on site with the games. So again, still engulfed with the games.
Cool.
And then boss called me up and said, hey, if we offered you a full-time position, would you be interested? And I was like, let's talk details. And it's exactly, I love people. I love sales. And I love CrossFit. It was like a no-brainer.
No-brainer.
So your region is Oklahoma. It's a weird one. So Oklahoma what?
So Texas? I cover all of Texas. I live in Dallas, Oklahoma, New Mexico, Louisiana, and then I always like to say China.
China. This is really funny. So you were like, I cover China and I'm going to China next week. And I was like, that's super awesome. Went to, what's it called?
I went to the Open, or their sanctional event, and it was called...
China. We'll post it in.
Oh my gosh, I can't even remember.
It's so new that I can't remember what it is. Yeah, but
that's gonna
cool.
That's gonna bother me all night.
With
Brent Fikowski
all day.
Kristen Holta. I got to meet her, which was really cool, and then see her great success that she had at the game. It was awesome.
I mean, you were hanging out with.
How's that language barrier based off of sales like that? How does that work for you?
China is bizarre. Okay, so I got to meet and chat with gym owners and coaches that have never been to the United States, and they could sit at this table and have a conversation with us.
Really?
Like in English,
In English.
Wow.
They're just the education that they get growing up, and they continue to push English all the way through. Not your 3 years of high school Spanish or whatever it is, and you never use it again. Exactly. And he wouldn't understand words when I'd say like y'all or things like that.
Slang.
He wouldn't understand Southern slang. Other than that, we could have legit conversations. And I was so surprised that none of them had ever been to the United States before, and I felt like an idiot because I know zero Mandarin.
I'm always interested. I know this is a little off topic, but I am always interested that there are certain regions that are obsessed with American culture. Like they will pay like big money for like true Detroit American steel cars. You know what I mean?
Definitely.
And they love Western.
You love cars, right?
Yeah,
loves cars. So I used to be into cars.
That's just crazy. Anyway, that was a side note, but
well,
it's
and
just
China,
so interesting
China
to me.
is exactly that. Especially when it comes to American brands. American brands to them is the same way we think of them, much higher quality versus a Chinese brand might be less. So when they see an American brand next to a Chinese brand and it might be 3 times the price, if they can afford it, they're going to buy that American brand.
That's really cool. So next question is basically like the highlight of your position, like with Ascent. Like what has been your highlight so far? Like traveling somewhere or just like something. You met somebody.
No, dude, probably it was going to China.
Okay, really
100%.
Yeah. So
if you were to ever ask me that I would be selling protein for a living, dropping into CrossFit gyms, getting to meet awesome coaches, owners, and athletes, and then, they're going to send you to China for a couple weeks.
Yeah,
that's cool.
Not only just China, but you get to hang out with all the pros and see some cool stuff. I'm jealous for that. That was awesome. So you've got some questions basically about like if a beginner came to you, had no idea anything about like the products or just protein products, any type of supplement in general, he's going to ask you some of those questions.
Cool.
So it's the
that's kind of like the nice thing is like the difference between Kyle and I is like I get to speak from like an everyday Joe that walks into the gym or the everyday consumer. So the bigger thing that I'd like to touch on for some of us, and there's so much vast knowledge out there that it's almost hard to navigate through, right?
Totally.
Between diets and all that kind of stuff. So in as easy terms as we can understand, why do we even need protein?
So I love this question.
Right.
Let me make it real simple. There's arguments for a low-carb diet, and there's arguments for a low-fat diet.
Mm-hmm.
Have you ever heard of a diet that requires low protein?
I
No,
do like that.
that's
answer,
awesome.
though.
No,
That's great.
Simply no.
Yeah, no.
Good.
You've got your keto, you've got your low carb, you've got whatever.
Mm-hmm.
All of them still require ample
yeah.
amounts of protein.
Yeah.
Protein is fuel for your body and fuel for your muscles.
Right.
And so I don't care what you follow or anything, you still need protein.
Awesome.
Definitely.
Yeah, that's a great. That's a
is
perfect
probably the best
answer.
answer I've ever
Exactly.
I'm stealing it, honestly. Like,
That's really, really good.
Yeah.
Next question is that let's say the next person, they're kind of shopping around, they're looking through. Let's take brands out of the equation, at least for the time being,
Totally.
and understand the difference between the different styles of protein that you have, because there's whey, and then there's different kinds of versions like that. So.
Yeah, so you've got a bunch of different types of protein out there. Specifically speaking about dairy protein, you have your whey and your casein protein.
Mm-hmm.
So whey protein is a fast digesting protein that will immediately be absorbed into your system to help build and repair the muscle tissue you just spent an hour or 2 hours breaking down. Casein is typically deemed like a nighttime protein. People will take it before they go to bed. I take it because I have a mad sweet tooth. Helps keep me full so I don't have the midnight munchies, but it's a slow digesting protein.
Right.
What that allows us to do is slowly feed and repair our muscles while we sleep.
Sweet.
So there's perks for both. But yeah, that's kind of the basic.
Just understanding how
difference.
what you're trying to achieve in your physique or diet and all that kind of stuff would basically be that.
So the nighttime thing, pretty much we go off RP strength. That's like a lot of the things that we use. They always recommend casein protein right before bed. I know you guys make like casein cookie dough.
Yeah, it's like a cookie dough mix, which is like
super
perfect.
delicious. Yeah.
Somebody's told me about that, and I haven't found a good recipe that I need to try.
we'll share it.
We'll
I
actually
would
post
love
it in
to.
this.
Yes,
so
let's
we'll be
do
able to
that.
share with
Yeah.
you, but we use Ascent for it. What is it? Chocolate that she uses?
Yeah, well, she's tried a couple of different ones, but yeah, she's at chocolate right now.
Okay,
she
yeah.
tried the chocolate peanut butter just for a little bit of taste, but she went right back in,
Okay.
and
Yeah.
she mixes it with the jello mix.
Yep.
And then you can flavor it based off of different things like that, and then she puts in a little bit of almond milk, and it's perfect.
Yeah, basically
Good
what
consistency, that kind of
I just
thing.
make a huge shake at night, and it's like the thickest thing ever, and it's just so good. It literally makes me super happy at night. It's the best thing I look forward to.
My girlfriend and I will on Sunday mornings will do chocolate peanut butter casein waffles.
Oh yeah.
Oh, nice.
So that's
Yeah.
what
sounds
we
really
make.
good.
Yeah.
Super simple.
Actually, I'm supposed to buy a waffle maker today. So
I
need to go
honestly,
buy-
I honestly don't mind throwing a little bit of protein in my coffee.
Yeah,
You know what I
No,
mean?
yeah.
And stuff
Doesn't
like that.
The cappuccino, does it have a little bit of?
So it has
caffeine?
10. So since we derive it from real coffee beans,
Yes.
it has 10 milligrams of
Okay, so
residual. So,
nothing crazy.
it's nothing.
Yeah.
We've never had a complaint
Yeah,
about
I was gonna say obviously I want to read everything and know what's in the products. And when
Right.
I saw it said had coffee bean, some
Yep.
type of maybe extract or whatnot. So I saw that it may have.
I was
something
reading
in
a little bit about that too, but for some reason I don't really think caffeine hits me the same way that it does.
it
We've
tells
talked about
me,
this multiple
like you
times.
just said, it's sensitive. Like it's 8:30.
I could drink all of your guys' coffee
No.
and still feel pretty good, and I'll be like,
No.
all right, I'm later. It hit like the nitro cold brew hits
Yeah.
him like just
I
like
can't.
that.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
I'm out for days.
I could have 3 cold
It's like I
brews
took
and be
type of
good.
drug,
So.
like literally.
Really?
What's your favorite flavor of all the ones that you have?
Oh, lemon
Is this
sorbet.
morning sorbet? Yeah.
Lemon sorbet for sure.
So what's the reason because I like lemon sorbet, but only if it's hot, and I like chocolate if it's like colder outside.
So I'm definitely, the beauty of it is that they come in smaller bags so you can change it.
Yeah.
You're not restricted to a 10-pound tub that you have for 2 years.
Oh yeah.
So definitely lemon in the summer when it's hot. It's nice and refreshing.
Which, if you're doing CrossFit, it's probably
Cappuccino, yeah.
I love that cappuccino, man.
Cappuccino.
It's
And-
good.
And then definitely in the
good.
fall or winter,
Yeah.
cappuccino, chocolate, or chocolate peanut butter.
Yeah,
I'll
yeah.
kind of cycle through those. I'll even add cappuccino to my chocolate peanut butter, half
Okay.
scoop of each.
Yeah.
Nice.
So
Not bad at all.
that's
You know, I'm
nice.
typically really picky about chocolate because it usually has this weird underlining taste.
Yeah.
And Ascent is probably, and this isn't a suck up kind of a
Yeah.
thing,
Yeah.
but honestly, the chocolate from you guys is probably my favorite chocolate of like almost any that we've tried. It just has a nice, good actual chocolate taste to
Yeah.
it as opposed to like an artificial taste to
Yeah.
me. And I usually don't venture far past like vanillas.
Yeah.
And then even vanilla sometimes has a tendency of being kind of weird or like I don't know, you want to mix it and you want to put it in milk so that it makes more milkshakey,
Yeah.
and water has a tendency of being really diluted, but I can throw it in my milk and or in my water and be perfect.
Yeah.
But that cappuccino, man, is so good. It's the first time I've ventured
How much
out.
water do you put in your like shake when you make it with one scoop?
When I personally make it, about 12 or 14.
Okay, with one scoop or?
With one scoop.
Okay.
Because post-workout, I've sweated, I need some water,
Yeah.
all of that.
Right.
So flavor-wise, do you feel it dilutes it or?
It absolutely does. I would never, if somebody's trying it for the first time, give them 12 or
Yes.
14 ounces.
Okay.
I'm around a 5 to 7 ounce range.
For the first try.
For the first try.
There's a lot more flavor. I noticed when you did like the tasting, like tasted way different because I do the same thing. I basically fill it up because I want water in
That's
my
right.
body.
Yep.
But I was like, well, I really didn't taste what flavor I was supposed to taste. But then you
Exactly.
tried it and I was like, this doesn't even taste like the same stuff.
Yes.
And then I tried it again. I was like, 5-7 ounces, it's great.
Anymore nowadays, there's sometimes where I'll throw it all the way up to 20 just because I know that it's another
no, you need
it's
water.
another excuse to get water in my body. You know,
Totally.
and I'm okay with a little bit of that dilution.
So I had my shaker cup. I had 24 ounces or 22 ounces of noon tablet and water,
Yeah.
and then I put the pre-workout in. It's like
Oh,
double
gosh.
dipping. It was good. It was good.
Yeah.
I tried the watermelon,
The new one.
the pre-workout.
Yeah.
That is one thing that I can't do. It's
Really?
not because of the flavor. The flavor is off the charts. Like
Yeah.
that watermelon, it is so good. It sends me crazy.
Oh, yeah.
Like
the pre-workout
Really?
does.
Yes.
And you're not sensitive.
and I'm not, but it is
I
the
wonder what it
one
is.
thing. It's not like jittery. It's like I don't know, man. It's
You just gotta
it's
go?
So
it's
you're
just-
probably the first person I've ever heard that because we keep, the way Ascent aligns in all of our thoughts on supplements are keep it simple.
Yeah.
Our
Very,
pre-workout,
very
I'm almost not a fan that it's called a pre-workout because it
Yeah.
scares, pre-workout, the word itself scares people
does, it
away.
does.
Right.
It's 150 milligrams of caffeine, which is what, a
Yeah.
cup to a cup and a half of
Barely,
coffee
yeah.
from green coffee fruit extract
Uh-huh.
and 250 milligrams of electrolytes from sodium magnesium.
And I thought it was weird too.
That's it.
Yeah.
There's no beta alanine, there's no niacin, none of
Yeah.
those things that might make
It
you
doesn't
tingle or
necessarily
shaky.
feel like a caffeine rush. It
Yeah.
doesn't feel like I don't know, like a jolt.
not used
You know,
to
I'm
it,
not
yeah.
shaky. I never take pre-workout, so that might also be kind of why it is. But it's also like I don't know. Maybe it's the 2 days that I tried it. We did handstand push-ups, box
Yeah.
jumps,
Down,
kind of
head
weird
rushes,
stuff,
yeah.
that kind
So
of deal. So
comparatively, like other, because I have had a ton of them, and
I've tried-
this
I've
is
went through the
nowhere
gamut.
near the feel that you're probably like. You don't want the feel of like itchy skin, scratching.
Oh,
you
no,
know, like,
no.
You get up and
Not
move,
even
your teeth
close.
are chitter, like you don't want that. No,
Yeah.
this stuff doesn't.
the
do it.
stereotypical.
Yeah.
No, and I definitely don't feel that with this one.
Yeah.
It's not like those. I don't know what it is, but it's something different. But I will tell you, the flavor is still again back to that because, like you said, keeping it simple takes away all of that
Yeah.
like weird artificial
Yeah. How
kind
many
of weird.
ingredients are in your proteins? Do you know?
Anywhere between 4 and 8. Vanilla
Very
has the
simple.
least,
That's nice.
and chocolate peanut butter has the most with 8.
That's the number one thing I always recommend. Is that the
Yeah.
like simple, like you said, is as few products as you can see. Like if there is in the ingredients list, they're like very minimal.
Yeah.
It's probably a pretty good protein. Like people are like, what do you think about this one? I'm like, I'm reading this freaking paragraph
Right.
of like all this crap in there, like
And more on
Zach
the
asked
inside
me
of the
today
label.
with 2 of them. I was like, it smells like a if you've ever been to Hertz Donuts, it smells like the blueberry streusel
Totally.
cake donut. Best thing ever. It smells like it, but it looks like it has probably everything that thing still
Yeah.
has in it.
Yes.
You don't want it. Yeah.
Yeah.
No.
So my last question that I have from the general standpoint is this age-old question: do you take protein before, or do you take it after your workout,
Or during.
or during?
That's a great question. One thing I want to highlight though on the flavor that you mentioned that you love the watermelon and the
Yeah.
chocolate. So it took us 283 times
Nice.
to land on the chocolate recipe. So we worked really hard
that
to
your
make
first
sure our what do you mean?
The first flavor?
Chocolate and vanilla were our first 2 flavors,
Okay.
but 283 different iterations of the
Yeah.
flavor, and then it's like, okay, this is it.
I appreciate that,
Yeah.
honestly.
we want to do it once.
That
We want to do it
separates
right.
quite
Yeah.
a bit.
So, but to your question, protein before, protein after. For the average Joe, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
It's about, it's about getting your protein number goal for the day, whatever that may be. So if you're cramming it all at night, that's probably not the wisest decision. RP, we have a partnership with RP. RP has told me to take 10 grams of protein before and 10 grams of carbs before as a pre-workout shake.
Yeah.
That is something I'm totally new to.
Yeah.
I always typically reserved all my protein for after.
Right.
So I don't think for the average consumer it really matters. As long as you're hitting your protein goal and you're consuming protein, At the end of the day, that's what matters the most.
For me, like on my RP template, basically it was like have some of the protein during with some carbs.
Yeah.
So you're kind of like sipping on it. But like if you think of CrossFit workouts, when do you have time to sip on protein?
Right.
So unless you're doing like Olympic lifting or something like traditional, that's when you can do that. So I typically will drink it right afterwards, and I have like those little children's applesauce packets or something afterwards, like little carbs. I love that stuff. It's like so good.
Well, and the cool thing too about our pre-workout, I dilute our pre-workout with 12 or 14 ounces of water, and I'll drink that during it, and it has 5 grams of protein per serving. So I'm getting that little bit of protein during my workout, also with a tasty drink that's not necessarily a protein shake.
That's definitely smart.
I like that answer just because, there's already so much that they're trying to navigate through between diet and all of this, that's the one sliver of area that they maybe don't have to necessarily worry about or worry that they're doing it wrong or whatever. So that's kind of a reassuring thing for just kind of the general.
So that was your last question?
Yeah, that's pretty good.
So we basically just have one more question for you. And this one's probably going to be a little bit lengthy just because it's cool like that you have to deal with owners all the time of gyms that are going to sell it. So what have you found to be the most effective and efficient way to make sales for gym owners who carry products like myself?
Ask questions.
Yeah. So ask you questions?
Ask us. Ask your territory manager, whoever owns your account, whatever brand you're with. If that's the brand you decide to carry, use them as leverage. If they're not educating you on better ways to move your product, you own a business. Me introducing Ascent to you is now you're opening a smaller business inside your already bigger business. And so you have to manage that business just like that. And so the cool thing about my job is I probably have a little over 200 accounts, okay? But I have been in well over probably 400 affiliates. I've seen retail that works, I've seen programs that work, I've seen ideas that work, and I've seen some that don't. And so if you have an idea that you want to hey Anthony, I've got this idea for retail, do you think it'll work? I'll tell you, hey Kyle, yes, I've seen that work before. Or, hey, no, I haven't. Or, actually, I have seen it and it completely tanked. But asking your rep for that is probably one of the biggest things. The other thing, too, is making it easily accessible. You've got to think of your protein almost like a grocery store. I'll go into gyms that, they're slower at moving the product. I'll walk in and they only have one flavor left. Typically, that one flavor left is their slowest seller. And I tell them, well, why haven't we brought in more of the other popular flavors? Well, we're kind of waiting for these to move through. Imagine if you went into a grocery store and
these are the last tomatoes. We're waiting on them to go.
Exactly. Yeah. We're not going to bring in any more tomatoes. We're not going to bring in any more bread until we sell all of this bread first. Like you're going to go somewhere else to get it. You're not going to say, "Hey, I bought this somewhere." You're just going to get it somewhere else because you have access to that thing anywhere. And so I tell gym owners we control all of our retail pricing, so you're not going to lose you shouldn't be losing your sales to Amazon because they sell it for the same price we tell you to sell it for. And so the only time you're going to lose it if you don't have something in stock, a member isn't going to be like, "Hey Kyle, when you getting that protein in?" They're going to be like, "Well, Kyle doesn't have it. I'm going to go get it. It's going to be here in 2 days via wherever."
And you lost out.
But yeah, making it easily accessible. The other thing, too, is do samplings. We have demo reps all over the country. I even have one here in Tulsa that, they're just exactly how I started. Brand ambassador, demo rep, whatever you want to call them. They are there for you to serve your gym when I physically cannot be there. Ask your rep about them. Hey, can we get somebody to come in? Or if not, if you feel that you are competent enough to run the sampling yourself, we can send you a kit with shakers, single serving samples, everything, nutritional information, hop on the phone with you, talk to you 20, 30 minutes, tell you how to educate your members, send you some sample cups, and boom. Just as if I was there.
Yeah, I think that's great.
When you own it and you put time and effort into it, it turns around. Same as your gym. If you just expect people to walk into the door, it's not going to happen.
Not at all. Yeah, I do like that, especially the last thing you said. Let's say your rep is busy or something like that, and you know enough about the product to kind of sell. But number one, you say is obviously you want to have it on hand, and so we've got a little display up there. We've got some of the good flavors. Obviously, we've got one bag of vanilla bean that we've had for a little while. But we've got cappuccino and lemon sorbet. We're out of chocolate. What do you think is the best number one thing that's actually sold? Flavor wise, not just what's your favorite, but what's the number one sold product right now? that will sell in a gym no matter what.
Chocolate and vanilla are your staple items.
Yeah.
I mean, we grew up protein shakes with chocolate or
Yeah.
vanilla.
Right.
That's why they were our first two flavors. Any protein company that ever started, I guarantee their first two flavors were chocolate and vanilla.
Yeah.
And so you go to the grocery store, if you pull our numbers from corporate, chocolate and vanilla are still our two most popular flavors.
Yeah.
Lemon is our slowest. It's my favorite, but it's our slowest.
Right.
Yeah.
Now, the cool thing about lemon, though, is when you sample it and you get it into the hands of people and you physically make it and pour them a glass and you let them try it, it winds up being the most popular flavor.
Yeah.
Reason why? Imagine if you were to walk into a grocery store, you've never had Ascent, but somebody told you, hey, you need to try Ascent. You see 5 flavors on the shelf, one of them is lemon. You are 1,000 times more likely to pick chocolate, vanilla, chocolate peanut butter, or cappuccino than lemon.
Well, the lemon reminds me of like that deep track on a nice good album. It's definitely, you know what I mean? You know what I'm talking about though? It's always my favorite.
Yeah.
I never like the ones that they play on the radio.
Yes.
Even a bad band has that one track that's deep in the archives on that. Like it's like number 7 out of 10, right?
Yep.
But it's that best one that has like the true musicianship to it. It has like that good clean sound to it.
Totally.
Once they hear it, they're like, oh yeah, that's good. But they had to find the album first, right?
So I've actually had, I think you sent it to me the other day, it was that little podcast that we were listening to back and forth, but it was like, I guess like a sales tactic was like you can do like 1 scoop at a time or something like that.
Yeah.
Have you seen any of your?
I have seen other gyms that do that. You know, they'll buy these little pressurized containers, vacuum sealed containers you can get off Amazon, $15-$20, and then they'll pour the whole bag in there, and they will, hey, $1 a scoop or $1.50 a scoop. It allows somebody to do it.
Yeah.
You can do that. That's an easy way to do it. I love my most successful gyms carry the single serving packets because if you carry the singles and somebody's like, hey, I'm curious, I know I need protein, don't know where to start, you say, hey, look at my flavors, what do you like? Oh, cappuccino looks interesting.
Oh, yeah.
Boom, give them that. They are so much more likely to do it. But yes, if you've got a 300 plus membership base and you're just cranking through those singles, some people that work into those containers see a lot of success from it. Slight issues from there is like, are you giving them a scoop? Are your sweaty athletes scooping out of it? That's why we love the singles. So
I like the singles also just for the simple fact of like somebody on the go or traveling.
Totally.
Those are nice good aspects. You can buy up, pack of 5 or whatever it is. I always try to put, if you're not going to use that, I use my shaker throughout the day. I'll use it for at least 3 different things. You don't want to mix. You don't want to put it in there. I mean, there's all those different, scenarios, and then you have like, so I'll put mine in a single serving little deal. But if I have the single serving bag, I don't ever have to worry about dishes or whatever it is. So there's a lot of aspects that I like those. So.
I think that's pretty much it.
Yeah.
All right. So if you guys are interested and you own a gym, even if you don't, and you want to buy some protein, you can hit me up. But if you are a gym owner and want to hit him up, where can they find you? Instagram?
Best place would be, you can hit me up on Instagram. It's Anthony G. Sequera. Listed below.
Very hard name to say.
That's right. Or you can simply go to ascentprotein.com. We have a tab specifically that says wholesale. Register for wholesale. Somebody will reach out to you. If you're in my territory, I'll be the one to reach out to you and give you an answer any questions that you may have.
Very cool. Yeah, I think that's it. And we will see you next time on Coffee with Coach.
Peace out.
Later.